Don't take advice from people that are like running out of breath while they're ridiculing you for your purchase. All 2026. Everybody's opinion.
Why doth thy not have something that works?
Because thy peck box is in the way. Can I help you?
I'm doing something, and I don't know what it is. I'll put that down for now.
I'd just be walking around and stuff.
You want some glass cleaner with the side of that? Jeez.
Ow.
God! Should be in here. Let's see. Hey, you got a spare mag?
No, we'll do mag out then.
God damn it.
Oh my god, this is stripping really bad.
Just the charging handle or everything?
I don't know.
He didn't paint the handle.
Well, no, I'm saying the debris that came off on the charging handle. Action.
Alright, so we are going over our budget builds today and why we built them. And I have Nick and Jacob. It's kind of like his face reveal. Say hi, Jacob.
Hello.
Whatever. But it is kind of a unique video because we do have kind of three different styles of weapon systems that we're using for our budget builds, and they do range quite a bit. So we are going to start with Jacob, and then we'll go to Nick, and then we'll go to me.
So for my build, I did the classic M16 style. I wasn't really trying to go after M16A3 or A4 or anything. I could care less. I do like the just original A2, A1 kind of style stock to it. I don't need anything adjustable or fancy. Whole purpose of this rifle is so that way I can hand it to a friend or a family member if something is starting to go downhill. It's not something super complex that they may not understand. I did put the Magpul 20, or I don't think it's a 20 inch, obviously, but it's I think a 15 inch or a 14 inch handguard on it. It was a bitch to put it on.
Was not fun, but we got it on.
And so I put a $69 carry handle on it. I bought it at PSA. Nothing too fancy about this toy. I do eventually plan on putting a sling on it as well as a flashlight, maybe an optic, but that'd be kind of pushing it. Because for me, it takes away from the entire point of having this, is so that way I can, hand it to somebody that may not be very familiar with firearms. Yeah, that's basically it.
Now, for budget's sake and everything, how much do you have into it?
I'd say
a price breakdown.
An average would be about $600. Five to $600. That's including the handguard, carry handle, the mags. By the end of the build, I'm looking at probably 700. Pretty budget friendly.
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
Yeah, $600 gets you a really mean rifle. Something that'll work in most conditions.
It's storable as well.
Um,
And it's slightly more accurate because it's got the 20-inch barrel, so that's
also,
going to
don't
be
like a good carry handle,
Yeah, carry handle of the
is-
world.
It is a modern take on a classic system.
It's lightweight too, so
It
that's
is.
another thing. All right.
Damn.
Oh yeah. So, all right. So this is my build. This is a DPMS DP15. 5 minutes.
This is a DPM.
What's it say right here?
No, but you read the lower
Yes.
while you. I just wasn't even looking at you, and I know that you read that. For all intents and purposes of this video, everything in these platforms is empty, clear, and there is no ammo in the room.
What? It's just a DPMS.
Yeah, but that's hard for him.
Do you want to go over yours first?
So Nick's gonna take a little break because he has the giggles apparently. So we're gonna go over mine. This is a PSA lower with a DPMS upper. I went with the quad rail, keeping budget in mind. I didn't want to go with M-LOK because sometimes M-LOK lights and attachments are a little bit more expensive, and also buying the segments does add to the price. Another thing to note, the internals in here are CAC internals. So we have a CAC lower build kit, CAC buffer tube, and a CAC buffer spring and buffer. I went with a SB brace because they are readily available. A BCM gunfighter grip, BCM CAG grip, a light. This is one of the lights that I got off Amazon for $30 that I always torture test, and figured because this is the budget build, I would put it on here. And I do have a pressure switch right here wrapped in goon tape. The optic is a SIG Romeo 7S, and then the mount is a Unity riser mount. I did splurge on the riser solely because I do have problems with my neck, and this is just easier to aim down. And a charging handle that Nick here did gift to me. What brand is the charging handle?
It is a. Boy, is it a. I think it's a Tribe. Or
Okay.
no, not Tribe. Is it Tribe or is it. I think it is a Tribe. Yeah, it's a Tribe.
Okay.
Tribe Co. or something. They make slides for Glocks and barrels and stuff.
So I built this, and also it does have a Geisley trigger in it, which was gifted to me by Nick right here. So we kind of put this together between the three of us because I wanted, one, a budget build to show off for this video. I wanted a budget build, and I wanted a build to do testing on, so I didn't have to take attachments off of my main systems and then put them back on, re-zero them and stuff like that. So this is going to be the product testing build. The lower, with everything for the lower, came to 260, and then the upper was 300. That's before all the attachments. I would say with all the attachments, it came to around 750 for everything, but that's because, like I said, I splurged on the Unity mount, and I did put a flashlight on it to test and show that you can get a well-working flashlight for $30 and you don't have to spend an exuberant amount of money on it. But you are going to see a theme here where a lot of these builds are going to be sub $1,000, and that's why we did a video. So this is my PSA budget build, rattle canned with a I believe it is a Plymouth green paint match code for a old Plymouth, and I thought it was pretty nice. All right, Chuckle, you're up.
Tell us about your DPMS.
All right, so this is the DPMS DA15. This standard goes for about $500, give or take, depending on where you get it. I've built mine out a little bit. It's got B5 furniture with a B5 grip on it, B5 stock on it. And then I've got a SIG Tango 1-6 that I got from Anthony over here. Saved a little bit of money because he gave it to me at a decent price. And then I've got up front here, I've got some Magpul M-LOK slot covers, I guess you'd call, for like just more texturing, and they also block heat for when the barrel does get a little warmer. And then here I've got an Arasaka vertical grip. This was about $30. These right here, the panels were about $20. the scope MSRP is for about 200, so um, it's honestly a perfect scope for what my application for this system is. Um, then I've done some slight modifications to it, different dust cover from Strike Industries, different castle nut, and then different charging handle. Um, and then just a 3-prong flash hider on here. I like this setup because it didn't really cost much initially, and it also gave me room to improve what I wanted to. So I was able to nitpick what I wanted, and also see cost where it was going to be applied, such as the dust cover that was about $20. This little castle nut right here that was about $15, and but it slowly builds up over time. But this overall probably about out the door about $800 with everything on it. So that's my setup right now.
So Nick's and mine are a little bit different from Jacob's because his is actually uh, purpose driven, like he said. But when we talk about budgeting and where we splurged, where we needed to, or where we felt like we needed to, um, as you heard from me and for him, we kind of traded, bartered, and stuff like that. And in my eyes, it's kind of like budgeting, you know.
Yeah, because you're not spending
Um,
the full amount on.
yeah, we shot the prices at you for like how much we got them for, but if you can trade something that you're not using and everything like that, that's kind of like budgeting. So that's why we kind of added that into the video. Also, you did see kind of like a wide array of what we got, and the prices kind of increasingly jump up. The prices kind of increase, and you saw that we budgeted and then actually put more money to the applications that we needed to for the weapon systems that we're using.
Plus, too, like kind of my thing with it is you got to think about where you're at and your like operational environment, whatever you want to call it. Um, there are some areas where we're from that could open up to a massive field. For the most part, though, you're not going to be shooting anywhere above 250 meters, I would say. Um, and even then, you've got to ask yourself, are you actually going to engage? So um, I feel comfortable without having the optic iron sights work just fine. Um, we did zero it the last time that we went to the range, and I got a pretty tight grouping on it.
Yep. I think yeah. Oh yeah, you did because
Yeah.
you were yeah, it was when you were laying down.
Yeah. But I don't need anything fancy in my life to be able to um, do all the cool stuff. Do I plan on having fancier builds? Absolutely. Um, but for what purpose that this rifle has, I don't. Um, you know, same with your pistol or his rifle. It's purposes that you have made for yourselves. Um, and so, I think something that should be addressed is um, you, as the viewer, probably have a rifle or have thought about getting a rifle and then having it set up a certain way specifically for you. And that's where the budget comes into place. What can you build um, best bang for your buck, so to speak?
Um, yep. That's another thing is when you're doing something like this, like a budget build, or you want to buy something and you're kind of hesitant and stuff like that. Don't let anybody else spend your money.
Hmm.
It's going towards you. You're saving the money, and it's an application that should work for you, and you should be happy with it. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Nick, you got anything?
Um, One thing I was kind of just as I was looking down the line of the setups we've got here is it gives you also a good scale of what you could be getting. You've got irons, red dot, and then you also have a full blown LPVO. So realistically, you can pick and choose. Most people will get one of these three on their setup. Whatever you want to do for whatever application you're going for is up to you. And you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get a decent optic. Um, for red dots, you can go with Vortex, Hollow Sun. Monstrum is a good company. They also do LPVOs for about $150. You can get a nice LPVO with relatively good glass on it, really clean reticle. And then in the future, if you wanted to, you maybe go up in magnification or something, or your budget opens up a little bit more, you could then step things up to like a Sig Sauer, or you could go with something even nicer like EOTech or something. But
Well,
you've got to start somewhere, is what I'm saying.
even like, because out of the three of us, I run exclusively red dots. I gave the two LPVOs that I had to you guys. SIG's optics are sometimes cheaper than Holosun optics,
Oh yeah,
and
easily.
the clarity is very good on SIG, and that's where I kind of spent like my, I guess, R&D from like my personal R&D on was like optics, and I found like SIG works very well for the price point. You guys know already that I run SIG on everything, but I think that is a good starting point for people, and then branching out into that, and then that would be another reason for somebody to be like, all right, cool. I spent the money on this, and I love it, and it works for me. I don't have to do anything anymore.
Well, and to kind of add on to that, you got a $30 uh, flashlight from Amazon,
Yeah.
and it works perfectly fine. We've seen it at nighttime, and it works great. I've seen how you torture test, and it still works. So don't always mistake cheap for being cheap as far as quality. Um, just because something has a lower price tag does not necessarily mean that it's a terrible product. Um, you know, you can get some pretty good red dots, pretty good optics, even under $100. I've seen some sell, and so
No, that's a good point. That goes to the other thing too. You want a flashlight, buy a flashlight. You want a flash. I want a flashlight. Let me buy a Surefire. No, like you want a flashlight, because I did the math on a Surefire nowadays, and you're looking at
With
a
the pressure pad and everything. Yeah,
like for an actual setup, you're looking at $500 to $600, brand new, brand new.
pistol.
Yeah. And again, I just got this for $30 because me as a consumer watched a torture test video on it from somebody else, and they had the link in the description. So that was really about it. But moving on, I want your guys' take. What do you think a good price point somebody should set for a budget build without attachments and everything?
Without attachments, I would say anywhere between $400 to $600, depending, and that gives a lot of room to play. Whether you want a pistol or a rifle, what caliber do you want? Um, and then also part of that budget is setting a budget for what you're going to be putting on it. So for me, $400 to $600.
Honestly, yeah, that's a pretty good price point. Um, that's a really good starting point. I would say probably 500 to 700, because you can still get something, or even 800. You can get something for about that point. What?
It just keeps going up and up and up, dude.
I was indecisive.
For
Sorry.
$2,000.
Yeah. So. That.
One thing I did want to add, though, real quick. Consider weight. That is something you always want to do. You are going to be thinking about your application for the setup that you make. Something like this or like that is going to be lighter than this. This has a whole bunch of aluminum. It's got a whole big optic on there. Um,
Of the three, mine is the lightest.
Yep.
And it's the biggest overall,
Yeah.
like size wise.
Size matters.
So another thing, because we're kind of segueing too, but it does make good conversation. We're going to do another video to where we show our purpose-built systems and why we did it, and then we could talk more about it there.
Yeah.
But obviously, his, like he said, was purpose-driven. That is built to be purpose-driven. Don't be fooled by mine, because this is strictly for content and to show you guys what you can get for the price point.
Also fun.
It is fun.
And it
this
looks
is fun
good too.
This for the price that we paid to build it and everything, Nick did have a hand in putting this together, and we both shot it a couple days ago. This shot incredibly smooth and felt very nice for the price that we built it for.
So on that real quick, the setup he had when I was at the range using the setup, it was a little cumbersome, so he did change a little bit of it to make it a little bit more ergonomic, and because of that, it's probably still just as functional, probably more functional than before. But yeah, like he said, it shot very well. It was really comfortable. The riser was a very nice touch. But yeah, good job.
The thing about M-Lock and paying extra and everything was like an afterthought, to where like I was putting this together and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't need to go out and buy this. I don't need to go out and buy that.
Or you don't have to buy Picatinny sections and stuff
and
like that. Yeah.
worry about, because again with me, I love Picatinny and like sorry, I love M-Lock. I love M-Lock a lot. I just, for a now this could go into the other video too. I don't like adding extra things that I can't quickly get to fix, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like M-Lock, you got the mount, and then you got Picatinny, and then you have whatever's being mounted to it. So there was a time where I forgot what it was, one of the older, I think, Surefires, to where it was rattling, but I couldn't find the rattle, and it was like the little screws on the back to hold it to the thing, and I had to take apart the whole. It was when it was on like the M-Lock mount. I had to take the whole thing apart to get to it. You know that
M-Lock can be frustrating if you're not used to it, or if it's like your first setup. M-Lock can be frustrating, whereas Picatinny, it's pretty much just rock and lock, and then you're good. M-Lock, it's a little bit more how complex in design, but that's why it's like that. It's lug-based design and stuff. But
also, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. So leave a comment down below what your budget build is and how much do you think a budget build should cost. Whether it's somebody who's building one for the first time, buying it for the first time, or just trying to get into it. But we got anything else, guys?
no, I'm pretty tapped out on topics.
I'm good.
Good? Cool. Well, that's about it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video.